want to come on my page like they so gangster and thug and leaving comments like you about that life. Didn't I tell you you're going to be dealing with monsters in your cities, states, and towns when the water shuts off? Right? Check this shit out. All highways are going to get a gate now on the underpasses. You see this shit right here? All highways, states, cities, town, major highways are going to have gates. Do you see that? Do you see that gate? They're going to block off the motherfucking highways here in the United States, and they started already. Look at it real good. But you want to come on my page and act like you're gangster. Once they close that gate, you ain't going through that motherfucker. Trust me. Trust me. A tractor trailer can't go through this shit. Because then they're going to put some things that pop up out of the ground, like these bars are going to come out on the highway in front of this fucking gate and behind the gate. There are going to be these poles that come out. So think before you leave a message. You ain't built for this shit. There's rules to this shit.
New this morning, protest preparations. Take a look what's happening here. So this is Caltrans. They've installed these gates at several on-ramps. It's going on all along the 101 freeway. NBC4's John Caddy's Klimak is live in downtown LA. So John, this is...
Let me show you it again. It's more than just California, okay?
New this morning, protest preparations. Take a look what's happening here. So this is Caltrans. They've installed these gates.
They saying it's for protest.
New this morning, protest preparations. Take a look what's happening here. So this is Caltrans. They've installed these gates at several on-ramps. It's going on all along the 101 freeway. NBC4's John Caddy's Klimak is live in downtown LA. So John, this is very specific. This work is coming ahead of those planned protests tomorrow.
Across the United States.
Couldn't be better because we've seen what can happen when these
all right, now you know across the United States they putting up these gates on the highways and they putting these bars or whatever the fuck you call it out of the ground like these things right here, just like these, but they're gonna come up out of the ground when they shut the gate. Didn't I tell you stay on my page? We're gonna go down to the rabbit hole to the motherfucking end. Now, all these people in Los Angeles and downtown are blocked off from all major highways leaving this city. They blocked off. Checkmate. But we're going to continue. New York, New Jersey, Florida, all of them had these gates. And with these things right here popping up out of the ground, it's more than just downtown Los Angeles. Let it play.
Get out of hand. So these gates that you guys have been pointing out, this is just one of them. This is the on-ramp to the 101 right here at Aliso and Los Angeles Street. So that's just one of them. But we're seeing them at several of these on-ramps going onto the freeway because the hope is that these would potentially keep protesters from going there. So last night, Caltrans made their way around the downtown LA area, right along the 101, installing these things. And they're huge. These are big gates that cross the entire roadway to keep people from getting through. They would be able to close that. Now, what we don't know is how that would all look. Who would make the call as to when it's time to close them, who's going to actually close them, how long will they, all that kind of stuff. We don't have that information just yet. But
you won't get that information.
It might be just perfect for what's supposed to happen.
Who paying for it to get built? That's the other thing you got to figure out. He talking about, we don't know who's going to close the gates, who's putting these gates up. Yeah, who's putting these gates up around the United States? Who's going to close the gates? Who makes those calls? The government.
Going to actually close them, how long will they, all that kind of stuff. We don't have that information just yet. But the timing, as you guys were talking about, it might be just perfect for what's supposed to happen tomorrow.
Saw one of you might say I could run that gate over with my car, right? I could ram it, right? Or with a truck. But those things that pop up out of the ground, you ain't running no tractor trailer through them shits. You ain't running no car through those handing those over. All federal institution has those things. Prisons, where I don't even know what you call it. Someone leave a message and tell me what it is. When a pipe come out of the ground to stop cars, barricade. I know it's a barricade, but what's the name of it that comes up out of the ground? You ain't going through that, motherfucker. Period.
First, No Kings protest happened here in Los Angeles. About 30,000 people, I think, was the estimate. But millions across the country involved with this. It's a nationwide event that's happening in cities all across the United States. And the purpose for all of that you...
Now, you hear what he said? This shit is going on, this protesting across the whole United States. These gates, it's a lot. And it's a lot for me to cover down this rabbit hole. So pass this video around telling people that all your major highways have a gate and these barricade pipes coming out of the fucking ground.
Was the estimate, but millions across the country involved with this. It's a nationwide event that's happening in cities all across the United States. And the purpose for all of that we've talked about it is the folks who are saying that there is executive overreach by the Trump administration. They say because he's doing too many things without the approval of Congress, they see that as being a king and not a president, and that's why these protests are happening. There's a lot of basic protests right now. The issue of the gas prices, the war with Iran, what's been happening at the airports. Brittany's been talking about it with TSA.
Data centers.
Folks are concerned about. This one,
water shortages.
There's going to be about 40 different events throughout the area tomorrow. The one here in Los Angeles, starting at 2 o'clock here in downtown. But again, different cities, Beverly Hills, neighborhoods, Studio City, Culver City, just name it, Glendale. There's a bunch of them happening around. So be on the lookout for that. If you're in the downtown LA area, the hope is that whatever...
This is the collapse of society. We watching it unfold right before our eyes, the collapse.
Shalom, shalom, Israel, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying. First off, in all praise, all honor, all glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bracha, Chodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, and all the teachers out there pushing this word in truth with truth and sincerity. May you be the elect. Shalom to all the Akim and Akwath out there listening and learning. You Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native, and Seminole Indians, who are the true children of Israel, as well as you speckled bird, Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that look like, act like, and take on the customs of all these heathen nations. So to you, I say shalom, and may you be the elect. This lesson is brought to you by the Spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true name of our Father, the God of the Bible, the God of the Israelites, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls by the name of JC. And this lesson is entitled Prophecy, Martial Law Gradualism. You saw from the short clip, right? The guy was talking about how they put in, gates, not just regular, side streets, but gates on the highways, right? And not only just the gate, right? But they have these barricade nodes that come out of the ground, right? And this is a like a safety precaution that they use with military installments, like the bases or embassies, right? So it makes it a little harder for anybody trying to come in to commit any sort of crimes or anarchy, pretty much, all right? And it stops them in their tracks, right? And so what the video was talking about was it's for riots, getting ahead for riots. Like, come on, man. If it's a peaceful rally, all right, you ain't gonna have to go to those extremes to put up not just the gate, but the cement steel nodes that come out of the ground, behind the gate. That's extra padding, so to say. That's not needed if it's a protest, man. Right? What that is gonna do, as the guy spoke on it, is cut people off from going out of the city or coming into the city. All right? And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about gradualism, right? When the government started taking over and putting in, militant-like troops, or even, in some cases, in the past few months, right? Putting military personnel, over the past couple years, really, putting military personnel on the streets, right, to patrol the streets. But one day, eventually, not a if, but when, it's going to be a permanent installation, all right, for a time, I should say, to where it's more normal that we see that, all right? And why? Because the devil got a short time, and so he gonna do whatever he got. He gonna do what he gotta do. He know he going down. He gonna take as many people with him as possible. All right. So this lesson is based on that video with the gate setting, right? This is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble." Jacob, meaning the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native, and Seminole Indians. Right? This is a time for our trouble. Why? Again, Revelation 12:12. Those devils know he got a short time left. He's about to be put out of rulership. Right? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Which means this current wicked kingdom is being put down. This is Esau Edom's kingdom, so-called white man. This is his kingdom. This is his setup. Right? This is his doing. Right? Under the will of Yahweh Shai, because he was made to be the wicked. All right? And so his kingdom is coming down, right? Is being dismantled. By what? By the way of the word from the prophets, right? And so, right, he's going to have everything set in place to where he can keep who down? The Negroes, the Hispanic, the Native and Seminole Indians, the Israelites, right? Because he knows if he takes care of us, he can stay in rulership. Little does he realize, or maybe he does, right? Hey, you can't fight prophecy, man. You're not going to go against the grain of Yahweh Shai's will. Point blank, period. Right? So it says, Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it." It's never going to be like this ever again. But understanding that, knowing this is going to be the worst time, okay? So that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. Who? The Israelites. The so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native, Seminole Indians. The Israelites of the Bible. Right? The name Jacob. Right? A person before a place. Right? Wrestled with the angel and was no longer called Jacob, but Israel. Okay? That's where the 12 tribes come from. Right? But yeah, the Israelites are the only ones that are going to be saved out of it. Why? Well, throughout the scriptures it tells you he's only coming back. Yahweh Shai is only coming back for the Israelites. I am only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. Why lost? Because we were scattered to all these different lands. We transgressed, right? We went against our Father, and He told us we're gonna be scattered. We're gonna be put in all these different lands, all these different captivities, serving our enemies. All right. So we're in all different areas of the world. So as when they be so quick to call us a minority, no, we are the majority, and they know it. They've always known it. They can't even produce these days, man. They got weak bodies, weak seed, man. The Lord's not gonna let the enemies flourish. Are you kidding me? He's gonna let them rule for a time, but their time is about to be over. We're in the last moments of this wicked kingdom. All right. And again, the Israelites are the only ones that are granted salvation. Jeremiah, St. John 4:22 will tell you that. You can go to Romans 9. That'll tell you that. What else? Isaiah 45:13. I believe it is. Let me get it real quick since I mentioned it. Right? Salvation is only for the Israelites. Why? Moses came out of the mount. Moses didn't gather all the nations together. Right? All the different nations of people. Right? When he came out from the mount and handed out pamphlets to all nations and said, "Follow this." It was the scripture was only given, the statutes, laws, commandments was only given to the Israelites. All right. Let's see, 45. 45 and 17. Salakia. Isaiah 45 and 17 says, but Israel shall be saved in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Right? A world without end. Right? When all hell break loose and this place gets set ablaze, the only ones that's going to be granted salvation are the elect of Israel. The best of the Israelites are going to be saved. 2/3 are going to be left therein and die. Right? 2/3 are going to be left here for those judgments. You know. Let's get another one. Isaiah 46 and 13. It says, I bring near my righteousness; it shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry. And I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory. Right? He didn't mention no other nations of people, man. It's only for the Israelites. Right? Now this is Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time, right, when all hell break loose, because it's gonna be that bad to where we're gonna have to have a spiritual intervention. Again, it's in Jeremiah 37. It says, so that alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, because it's gonna be the worst time ever, man. All right. The scripture tell you through much tribulation to enter the kingdom of heaven. It ain't gonna be fucking Dorothy and her company skipping down a yellow brick road to go to Emerald City, man. Right? It's gonna be a hellish time to get to the kingdom. So when these wacky taggy Christians be talking about I'm saved, how are you saved already, idiot? What indignation have you been lifted out of? Foolish. Right? Daniel 12 and 1, it says, and at that time, again, the Jacob's trouble, where it's so bad, right, that it's gonna have to be a spiritual intervention. And at that time shall Michael the archangel, right, stand up, because he's coming back with Yahushai. Right? His mission is to destroy. His mission is to come fuck shit up. Hallelujah. Right? So Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Who is the Lord's people? The Israelites. Right? And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. We're talking about Jacob's trouble. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Again, 2/3 of our people, the Negroes, Hispanic, Native, Seminole Indians, are going to be left here to die. The only ones that are going to be lifted up out of the indignation, the only ones that are going to be that are granted salvation on that first go round are the Israelites. The elect of the Israelites. Right? The only ones granted salvation are the Israelites. And even then, the elect of Israel is going to be saved. 2/3 will not be, along with the heathen. They will not be. All right, just to make that clear. We've got to clarify things. This is Revelation 13, 16 and 18, or 16 through 18. And we're talking about the gradualism of the martial law. Right? And this particular precepts are going to go into the MOT and the B. Right? When you're going to have the RFID, chips within the body, right? So where you can be a product of society, if you will, right? Meaning you embrace the beast system, right? And you got this thing within your body. Now you can go to and fro in the earth, to stores, maybe enter your home, enter your vehicle, right? Because you have this device within under your flesh, the same product that's given to your pets, right? To keep track of their medical records, find them if they're lost, right? And the whole idea is what? So this devil can keep track of everybody. Why do you think he's pushing for EVs, electric vehicles? Why do you think he's pushing out gas vehicles, right? Tampering with the gas now to put ethanol gas, corn-based oil, gasoline, which gunks up your pistons, right? Ultimately, it's like bad oil, like vegetable oil, corn oil, clogging up your arteries to give you a heart attack. Well, that's the same thing that this devil is doing with the products of vehicles, right? Obsolescence, right? He's purposely putting in the ethanol gas right now to gunk up your cars, to push for EV, electric vehicle. That way it can keep track of you on the grid. All right. And therefore, ultimately, again, leading to what? For people to have the chip. Right. You start with the credit cards, little SIM cards, right? Put the little SIM chip in there. You can tap it against this. You can tap it against that. You no longer have to, go to the store. They take your card, scan it, put it through this paper deal, and run it over, and it's like a stamp. For those that remember that back in the day, and they've been gradually getting these things better, right, for your convenience. All the while, it's setting you up as a snare to be, basically keep under the watch and the care of this devil, man. Right? To take your eyes with off Yahweh Shemel Shai and think that this dude is your Lord. Esau Edom. Right? So Revelation 13, 16 through 18 says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So he's already telling you, with this system, it's set up for everyone. Anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter if you poor, it doesn't matter if you got bank, all right? You got status in the world, you don't. It don't matter about none of that, right? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. It could be anywhere in your body, right? You're going to install this device to where you can pay for things. You can find these things, such as a store like Mariano's, right? Where it says you can pay with your wrist. Why? How are you able to pay with your flesh, with your wrist? It's not just your flesh. It's not just your wrist. It's a device within that person that they can buy things, right? Because this certain device, this MO to the T and the B, right, is the part of this B system, right? And once you get this, it's like saying made from Mattel, made from Taiwan, made from China, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So once you get this, you are making Esau Edom your God. You saying that he owns you, and therefore ultimately you forfeit your soul for salvation, because you made your choice that you are part of this system. You are part of Esau Edom's dealings, right? You're holding hands with your oppressor. You're good being his slave. You got the Stockholm syndrome for real once you get that. All right? You made it evident. So it says, Revelation 13, 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that's the embargo chip, right? The UPC code, basically saying he owns you. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. Right? And that's what's happening. Right now, it's optional, but one day it's going to be mandatory. And once it becomes mandatory, that's when, that's when things are going to get, it's going to get even more serious, because the noose is only going to get tighter, man. Ain't nothing going to get better. A lot of these people think things are going to get better. No, there is no balm for this bitch, man. And she going down. All right? This is 2nd Ezra 15, read 14 through 19. Let me get it. I forgot to put that in here. All right. 2nd Ezra 15, starting at verse 14. All right, we're talking about originally talking about the gate, right? The gates that going up on the highways, not just regular streets, side streets, but on the highways. Major traffic, right? Major transport from the highways, the main arteries going to be cut off, right? 2nd Ezra 15, 14. Woe, right? Destruction to the world and them that dwell therein, right? Because it's about to get to that time where it's the end of the show. This is the climax of the show right now. Right? It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right now, this is the prelude to when all hell break loose. You see all the division in the place, right? Blue against red, pro-life against life, pro-rainbow against rainbow, pro-Ukraine, pro-Russia, pro-Iran, pro-Israel. It's a whole lot of division in the world right now. All right, and a house divided cannot stand. Right, so eventually people are gonna take things in matters of their own hands, and they're not gonna care. All right, because people are getting fed up right now. People barely making the ends to meet right now. They got two people in a household, probably both got a master's degree and struggling to get by. It shouldn't be. That should not be the case, man. That should not be the case where American citizens are struggling to get by when it's supposed to be the greatest country in the world. It's turning out not to look so. All right. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. We're seeing this right now at an all-time high, and invading one another. That's what's going to be coming too. All right. When all hell breaks loose, people ain't going to have money to buy this or buy that. You're going to have people that push back against the MOT and the B. Right? You're going to have people that just, just can't have either. They're not going to have cash and they're going to have the chip. They're just going to be like, fuck it. And they're just going to take matters in their own hands because you got a lot of YNs that have been produced over time. And you're going to have people that just end up having that mentality because, hey, they got children. They got a family to feed. So they're going to do what they got to do. Right? It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes. They're not caring about no government officials. They're not going to care about no first responders. They're not going to care about militant personnel on the street. These people are going to arm themselves, and they're going to push back. You best believe they're going to push back. Right? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that was the point, right? When the guy was talking about them putting them gates on the highways along with those cemented steel beams that come out of the ground, those nodes, for extra, barricade power, extra reinforcement, should I say, for just for protests? Really? Nah. There's more to it than that. It's gradualism. They know what's coming. They know what kind of pushback is coming, right? And they marked it off, starting with the C-19. How many people pushed back? How much animosity came out of it? How much, deletion came out of it? The results of that. And even now, several years later after that, how many people still speak out against it? And they still pissed. So how much more so when these people lose their jobs, right? Lose their money, right? Lose their comfort, right? How much more so? It's going to get really bad, especially amongst Edomites. Why? Because they were blessed with the sword. That's all they know how to do is destroy. So it's within them, right? And they're soulless people, man. They don't give a damn, right? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good, right? That's how these people are. They smile in your face the whole time. They ready to do something to you, just so they can gain. All right, verse 18 says, "For because of their pride, their city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Again, that trouble that's coming, man, it's going to be all hell unloosed. All right, and people are going to be just like the purge, man, the road. Right, all hell is going to break loose, and people are going to be at their wits' end, taking matters in their own hands. It says, verse 19, it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation." Right? So again, when this place, putting these gates up on the highways, hey, these people ain't going to have that, man. They're going to be scared, right? And a man pushed into a corner, hey, that's the worst thing you do. Especially if it's somebody who ain't got nothing to lose. He lost everything. This is all he got left. He's not going to give a damn. He'll gladly, be deleted in the process of his righteousness, right? Because everybody's going to be trying to establish their own way, even now, but even more so then, right? So these are things you're going to definitely have to watch out for because it's about to get incredibly bad, right? So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying, giving all praise, all honor, all glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, the great millstone, and all the teachers out there pushing his word truth with truth and sincerity. May you be of the elect. Stay prayed up, repent, Abba, Babal, Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.